Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Cone Dodger here. Welcome to a vlog. Not even gonna call these monthly anymore. We're just gonna say they're vlogs, all right? They are what they are. They are when they are. I don't even know where I'm going anymore. But it is the first week of, no, it's like the second week of October. It's sometime in October, and I felt like doing a vlog, so that's what we're doing today. A little bit of a update as to where we are, what we're doing around the channel, and etc. I mean, first off, I would like to say thank you to everybody who showed concern about my well-being for the hurricane and all that stuff. It was really not that bad, but I know if you don't live in Florida or you don't live in the South, you wouldn't know what to expect, just judging by, you know, what you might get fed by the media. Personally, I don't watch the news. I don't watch any of the, you know, regular media sources just because they're so untrustworthy. They make their money off of you being interested in what they're telling you. So they're very inclined to not tell you either the truth or just embellish on the truth. And I don't want to make it sound like, you know, hurricanes are not a big deal. I just saw a Prius with blue wheels. But it's a very hard thing to just trust media sources about, though. Yeah, I try to make a lot of my own kind of judgments on these things. I take the information that I'm given from like NOAA and real, you know, meteorologists and make my own assessment on that. There's the chance you could be wrong, you know, but my gut feeling was this was one of those hurricanes that would scoot up along the coast of Florida. If you don't know, I live in the Jacksonville area, but I'm pretty far inland. It's about a 40-minute to 50-minute drive to get to the beach from my place. Doesn't mean I'm completely out of harm's way, but pretty unlikely that Atlantic hurricanes will hit my area. Not to say I wasn't affected by it. Obviously, I didn't have power for about 28 hours. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see that I was slowly losing my mind because of that, but that's no big deal. We had some trees down and, you know, general storm-like conditions. I think the biggest gusts that I saw were in the 50 to 60 mile an hour range. Not terribly bad. We get thunderstorms that are that bad, but it's just it's the sustained wind. It's very weird. If you've never experienced a tropical storm or a hurricane or anything like that, it's a very strange weather phenomenon for sure. Just the relentless, constant wind, and then like the random gusts that come with it. It's very different. And those storms, like we get some bad thunderstorms here in Florida that are like, we're like the lightning capital of the country, maybe the world, I don't even know. But these storms have no lightning in them. They're not, like the sky doesn't get really dark. It's a very different kind of weather phenomenon. Nope, there's a fence down right here. One of the biggest impacts for me is the fact that I work at a retail establishment of the home improvement variety. And that means a lot of work for me because of not only do we supply the stuff for the recovery, but also like the prep, like water and sand and plywood. Oh my God, I load so much plywood, unbelievable amount of plywood and stuff like that. And the area that I work it's a pretty, I want to say it's a rich area, but it's an area where people assume they have a lot of wealth, and it's a lot of people that come from up north, and you know, some of retired people, you know, Florida retired people, but a lot of it's just a wealthy, you know, middle class kind of area, and a lot of these people just have no idea about anything to do with construction or like how to fix things on their house, how to attach plywood to their house. And it's really a mystery to me how people make it to adult life without knowing how to use a wood screw. I got asked multiple times, like, oh, so you just like screw it into the wood and it just goes? You know, you have to drill for it? No, you just put it in. It's crazy, but that's over with now, and everything's fine. Yep, thanks for all the concern and stuff like that, but I was fine. Lorgon also lives in Florida. He's in more central Florida. He actually left that area. Central Florida is a little bit scarier for hurricanes because they can have the tendency to cut across the state or go further into the state. North Florida, if you look at the map, it really dives in right here at North Florida, away from the coast, and the jet stream that goes along the coast that carries these storms takes them much further away from the coast. Jacksonville area itself has not been hit by an Atlantic hurricane, and I want to say in the neighborhood, like a direct hit across the state, 75 years, something like that. It's the ones that come up from the Gulf that are the issue for us, because they cut right across the panhandle there and then go to the Atlantic. Those are the ones that'll hit us, and we're on the northeastern quadrant of those storms. That's the stronger side of it, and the side that will have tornadoes and stuff like that in them. I lived that's a little bit overly dramatic, but I was here through a couple of those in like 2004, 2005. And those are a little spooky. Saw some funnel clouds and stuff like that. So those are a little worrisome for sure. But yeah, that's over and done with. I think that's all I really have to say about that. Lorgon had some pictures of damage and stuff like that. I don't even have that. It was all pretty much cleaned up immediately, and there was stuff to see, but I'm not one to go around and, like, you know, sightsee for these things. That's not for me. I would be lying if I said I was pretty disappointed. Which is a terrible thing. The storm caused lots of damage. It destroyed people's homes, took hundreds, if not thousands, of lives in Haiti. So it's obviously not that it's not a big deal. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But as far as I was concerned, it knocked my power out for 28 hours, and I sat there bored out of my mind, sitting on the porch, just watching it, because it was really not that exciting. As a kid, I was terrified of storms and thunderstorms, especially lightning. I remember when I was like, I would say between the ages of probably 8 to 12, that range, I would have recurring nightmares of getting hit by lightning, and that made me like super worried about getting hit by lightning. Probably because, you know, the teachers in grade school and whatnot would always like freak you out about it. Oh, you live in Florida, it's the lightning capital of the world, whatever, you gotta be careful. But knock on, I don't know, plastic GM interior, no lightning strikes yet. And I don't really worry so much about that stuff anymore. I'm sure a lot of that worry has to do with the fact that the house I grew up in here, I have no shame in saying this, it is a mobile home, and if you live in a mobile home, double wide, single wide, no matter what it is, you worry about winds and tornadoes and things. It's not the place to be for such things. But now I'm in a brick house, and I feel fine about that stuff. It's actually really fascinating to me now. I really considered getting into meteorology at some points, just because I am so fascinated by the weather and the phenomenons with it, and, like, predicting storms, predicting hurricanes. There was a time, I'm sorry, this is not even a monthly update vlog anymore, it's just a vlog. Years ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago, I just sometimes, you know, check the weather, look at the radar and stuff like that, and I noticed this really weird pattern of clouds that was developing directly over my area, and I was like, that looks like a tropical storm, but there was nothing. NOAA wasn't reporting anything, nobody was reporting any kind of tropical activity, and it was late, I think it was heading into November, and sure enough, right on top of North Florida, what is referred to as a subtropical storm formed on us, and it became a tropical storm on the state. It was a really bizarre phenomenon, and it was very cool to watch happen, basically. It was neat. So yeah, that's my spiel about hurricanes and storms and whatnot. It hasn't scared me away from Florida. I wouldn't go as far to say I love Florida. I wouldn't go as far to say that I love where I live. But I have no desire to move at the moment. Versus when I was a kid, I really did. I thought I would move away from Florida. I've gotten pretty, I wouldn't say I'm real tied to the area, but especially as I've gotten older, I've realized that like being around my parents and stuff is more important than just leaving for the sake of leaving, which is basically what I would have been doing if I moved to, I think, the areas that I was most interested in were like the North Carolina, Virginia kind of area. So basically into more hurricane area. Not very smart. Alright, off to make the car payment because I couldn't do it Monday because it was Columbus Day, and apparently that's still an actual holiday even though nobody actually celebrates it. Done. Apparently that is the 19th payment I've made on this car. So we're coming up on 2 years of ownership. Yeah, 2 years because you go like 2 months, you own it for 2 months before you even start paying on it basically. I don't know. I went through a little phase here recently where I started looking for maybe things I could trade this in for, just to get something different, since it's a car I make payments on. Basically, once you start making payments on a car, you make payments on a car for the rest of your life. It's basically how it seems to work. Can't find anything that I would be remotely interested in. It's got to be a manual. It's got to be rear-wheel drive, pretty much, or all-wheel drive. I don't like Subarus, really. There's nothing in this kind of price range that I was interested in. So I think I'm gonna be sticking with this car for a little bit longer. I don't drive terribly much, but the only thing that concerns me about this car is the reliability of it, just because they have a plethora of issues. I already had that issue with the water pump that cost me an exorbitant amount of money to fix. But I still do love the car. That's the hard part of it. Like, I enjoy driving it. I enjoy the turbo. It's different. You don't see a ton of them. I do suppose I should talk about the actual channel here a little bit, since this is the actual reason for these vlogs. And yeah, we got quite a bit going on at the moment, don't we? Started 2 new, very different series for the channel. We got City Skylines, was the first kind of different thing that I started, and I've always loved that style of game. Played the crap out of SimCity back in the day, and I always kind of assumed I would enjoy City Skylines. I saw it for cheap, and more than anything, I saw the opportunity to do something different as a video, because I felt like I was getting in a rut of, okay, well, this is the kind of video I can do pretty well, and people are enjoying it, so I guess this is the only video I will do. And that was, racing commentary videos. So this was kind of to help me get out of that little rut. Previously, I've always done like Minecraft and stuff like that as the side stuff. And in general, people, I guess, are just tired of Minecraft content. There's so much of it that the competition means that you have to do something crazy and unique to really get an audience in that stuff. I didn't know what kind of audience we would get with the City Skylines thing, but it's been pleasantly surprising, and I enjoy it a lot more than I expected. I thought I would struggle with that kind of video content, but I think it's actually something that suits me quite well. It's not a constant stream of commentary, which is good. That fits my commentary style very well, and it fits the restrictions that I have. I've talked about this in the past, but I have a particularly weak voice box. I have a lot of scarring in my throat from asthma in the past and the medicines and stuff like that, and there's nothing that can be said or done about that. Just is what it is. So that kind of content really suits me quite well. It fits. So that's been great. And then wild hair up you know where, I decided to do Forza Horizon 3 just because I watched some people play it and I was like, that looks really fun. I could use some fun right now, like just a normal fun game. By the way, Roundabout, and I did it correctly. I'm learning from Forza Horizon 3 now. Let's drive on the other side of the road. Yeah, it just looked fun, interesting, and again, just wanted to kind of stretch my commentary legs a little bit. I'll be doing it different than most. Like I watch Kurt and Beef's perspectives on that, and they do the constant commentary thing where they just start recording, record for 30 minutes, and cut. I unfortunately do not do well with that format, but I think I can make it work in a cut-up format as well, and maybe it'll be different enough from like their series to attract its own different kind of audience, or just make it seem like we're not all doing the same thing. But either way, I'm having fun with it, even though that will always be how do I word this? Doing that series will always be a net loss for me because I decided that to play it and my old 660 GTX couldn't handle it, so I went and bought a new graphics card, a 1060 GTX, which is not top of the line by any means, but certainly a lot better than a 660 GTX, and it seems to play it relatively okay. But yeah, that cost quite a bit of money. Money that I was saving up to put tires on this car. So I have to stretch these original factory tires on this car from 2007 a little bit further. The Coatlander stuff has kind of subsided a little. I decided to cut back my involvement. There's a tree knocked over. Yeah, I decided to cut my involvement back on that a little bit. Partially because it was not being, I discussed this at length last video, it just wasn't exactly what I had in mind. I had way overstepped my involvement in that to begin with. So now I think it's down to an acceptable level, and it's working well, and I think I'm happy with what has become of that. So GT3 every other week. Dirt Rally continues because that's super easy for me to put together, and everybody still really enjoys it. I really enjoy doing it still. So that's good with that. On Sundays, the change up on every other Sunday when we're not doing GT3, when we're not recording GT3, that is, I stream iRacing Oval Series. Just another thing that, let's just do something different. Just had the, wow, it's gotten really bad there. Had the feeling like I really wanted to do something different. Who's going here? I guess I'm going. Oh yeah, it's green. The low roof line life. It's real enjoyable. What was I saying? Something about enjoyable. And not low roof lines. Who knows? Thought of consciousness gone. But yeah, I decided just to do some different stuff right now. I know a lot of people out there, and I probably should have started this video with this because I get the comments and I see the wondering, the worry if people like, oh, are you ever going to do an automation series again? Like, that's what I came here for. I mean, I support your stuff, but I want those automation videos. It's got that whole Kerbal Space Program effect that Kurt had. It's kind of similar to that, isn't it? I absolutely still want to do automation videos. I love the game. The devs are amazing. Like, they're some of my closest friends now. Talk to them on basically a daily basis. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right, and I want to make sure that I'm in the right frame of mind for doing it, and just producing good content with it. I've made now, I think, over 100 videos in that game throughout its development. So if I'm doing videos in that, I want to make sure they're good. I want to make sure I'm not just, putting out automation videos because that's what people want. I want to be putting out automation people? I want to be putting out automation videos that people enjoy. And I enjoy. Like, this sounds weird in my head, but I'm going to say it anyway. I am as big a fan of that series as you guys are. Like, I enjoy making that series, I think, as much, if not more, than people enjoy watching it. So, yeah, I want to make sure it's something enjoyable all around there. But we will get there, and it just takes time. It just takes, the actual time to sit down and record it. And it takes time to get your frame of mind right. I have been in a weird kind of frame of mind lately, and I mentioned this in a comment that somebody asked, like, where is automation? I've been, I hate to use this term, but in a funk lately, like where I'll wake up and I just, for no reason that I can determine or, figure out, I will just wake up with this, like, horrible feeling of just dread. Like, for the first 4 or 5 hours I wake up, I'll just sit there and be like, wow, everything sucks, and I don't know why. It's just this, like, weird enveloping feeling, and I can't even, like, focus on doing videos and stuff when I'm feeling like that, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm also not particularly doing anything about it. Like, I don't know what to do differently to try and fix that. It's just something I appear to be going through, and it's been a while that I've been feeling like that. Taking a scenic route today, I feel like talking things out. Maybe that will help. Who knows? But yeah, it's just, and it's not as though things are going poorly. Things are going better now than they have the rest of the year before that. Like, there's nothing but encouraging things happening. But as I've talked about in previous videos, I still don't feel like I don't have that pride element yet. I don't have anything to talk to friends or, acquaintances about, like, when people say, hey, Cone, what are you up to? Hey, we haven't talked in a while, what have you been doing? I fear those questions because I have nothing to say. And maybe that is a bizarre looking Prius. The heck are they doing to that car? And I fear that will probably always be the case if, say, I start working for myself, if I start being self-employed. Not necessarily on the content creation side, but even if that's part of it, it's a real hard answer to give. Like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I do these 6 different jobs, and none of them are, full-time gigs or anything like that. That's it makes you sound like a floater, like you're not taking life very seriously, which, to be honest, I don't really take life overly seriously, I guess. But through that, though, I mean, the support of the YouTube stuff, of the Twitch stuff, of the content creation stuff is the one thing that I feel confident and good about on a normal basis. So that is a good thing, and I'm glad that I have that as part of my life, or this. I guess it is this, isn't it? I'm glad I have this as part of my life right now to help encourage the positive thoughts throughout the day. Oh, why did I go down this road? That's a cool old Toyota truck. Man, I've always wanted one of those. With the round headlights, perfect generation for those. This road's super noisy, so I'm just gonna have to apologize for the noise. But yeah, that's where that stands. And I've talked about how approaching 30, I placed some, not deadlines on myself, but just a renewed sense of, like, all right, we really gotta make something of this life now. Gotta get some stuff in motion here, and like I feel it, I sense it, that maybe I'm heading in a good direction with things, but yeah, I just don't have that, like, here's the thing, you don't need hands to drive, right? Here's the thing that I have that I've done with my life. I don't have that yet. Smooth road. And to be perfectly honest, the stuff I'm working on right now, none of those may be things that I can eventually say, these are things that I've done. It's possible that everything I'm doing right now will just be a chapter opening closed. That's just a distinct possibility. All right, we've had highs, we've had lows. Let's go back to highs. Let's go back to the good side of things. A good thing is that although I've not done a ton of videos with it, I have indeed been working on the 240 slowly, just kind of, I would say, at my leisure. I've not really made any videos or anything recently in it, and that's basically because the stuff I've been doing has just been so minor that it's not really important. But this Saturday, we will be taking out to the first shakedown autocross, I would call it. I'm not even going out there to say that I'm competing. I'm going out there to say that I am shaking down the car. I am seeing if it is ready and capable for such things, and what things do I need to, tune in, fine tune. Oh God, why don't I go down this road? High school's getting out right now. Not high schoolers, they're the worst. So yeah, we'll be taking that out on Saturday here. Myself and Slagathor. Slagathor will be towing it for me. I'll be recording some on Friday, like some prep for that. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is record the prep, record the, maybe some of the trip and stuff like that, just record the overall, getting ready for the event, that kind of stuff as its own video, and maybe, just some video from the event, and then record the run separately. So those will be just two separate videos, and that's part of, I think, the reason that I wanted to do that second channel. So I could just put that video up there, just maybe a couple of videos, who knows, just of varying content, and not feel like I am overloading the gaming channel with just random in real life stuff. And I think that's what people that specifically might subscribe to the Cone Dodger Motorsports page would be looking for. It's just, what's going on with my real world car projects, and that's the kind of stuff that will be going up there. I'm not putting too much focus on loading that channel full of content. It's just kind of there when I need to use it or when I have content to put on it. If things were to change and I was able to devote more time just to content creation, then I might get a little bit more I don't know what's the word, scheduled with doing videos on that channel versus on just, Cone Dodger 240 gaming channel. I have been trying to get myself a little bit more scheduled on releasing consistent content there, because I think that's important for growth, or just, just make sure people expect content there. So that's where we are. That's where we stand. Other things that might be happening. Let's see, other things people want to know about. F1, still in the works, I would say, still in planning. Still waiting for other participants in that to have things settle down so we can really buckle down and get that series going. I guess that's kind of it. For series and things people might be waiting for, looking for. Otherwise, just kind of playing it by ear. Whatever other random Forza Horizon 3 thing comes along and I might want to do. And I've kind of come to accept the dislikes and the negativity that comes with doing different stuff like that. And I just attribute it to, if people were watching a network TV channel, not every program that TV channel puts out will everybody enjoy. And unlike on TV, where you just would change the channel, or you might angrily grab the remote and change it real quick because Snake Hunters comes on after chasing classic cars. You on YouTube would be like, this is not automation. So instead of angrily taking the remote and changing the channel, maybe you will hit the dislike or whatever. And that is what it is. That is people's choice, that they can do whatever they want. It's not going to stop me. That's what used to stop me from wanting to do a bunch of different kind of videos, is like the fear that people would be upset because it's not the kind of video that they came to me or came to my channel to find. I think that was a flawed way to look at it on my part. Alright, this is going to become the world's longest vlog. Not really, but I think it's time to wrap it up. I will just say thank you all for your support on here. Thanks to all my patrons, and we got some new patrons recently. Thanks to all of you guys for helping out. You are the main reason that I have really felt this year like maybe we could actually make this into a thing. I'm closing in on 1,000 videos, so it's not as though there's been a lack of effort to try and make it into a thing. But I feel like we're really making headway at making it into a thing. I don't know if we're closing in on any new goals, which is good because I haven't completed the last goal yet, where I go drifting. Still waiting. We may have to tow that car down to Orlando to do one of the events. That's just my luck, that the time where I finally meet that goal, the drift event around here stops happening, of course. But maybe it'll start back. Who knows? We'll see. Trying my best on that one. We'll get there though, and it will be interesting and derpy and ridiculous. Alright, end it here, Cone. You're rambling again. Go by. Be gone. Be gone. Stop recording.